How does perspective foster great spiritual conversations? Well, I think there are two sides of that question. The first one is just how the cards themselves work. The cards are highly visual, tangible, and engaging. In fact, when you invite someone to do perspective with you, what I do is just say, you know what, I'd love to get your thoughts on what you think about the nature of God, the meaning and purpose of life, and things like that. And all you have to do is choose the cards that best represent what you believe, and I'll get your thoughts on that. What do you think? So people usually see that that seems easy enough, and another thing that really helps besides that visual nature of it is that it provides people with options. They can take a category. In fact, you would hand the person each category one at a time, and that gives the person a sense of control. They get to hold the cards, move the cards around, and they're able to choose the card that helps them communicate with you and even helps them process what it is that they believe, because they may not have a clear idea. Perspective being a third object that you can put your attention on, I think really helps that conversation become more comfortable as well, because you're able to put your attention on that object instead of so much on each other. And the other side of that question is, what can you do to help foster that conversation? Well, there's really four things that I think are really key when going through perspective from the beginning to the end, and that is ask, listen, learn, and share. If you can remember these four words and keep them in mind as you go through perspective, you will be doing well. The first one is ask. It is so important to be able to ask good, thoughtful questions as you go through perspective with someone. As you go through a category and someone chooses the card or the cards that they most relate to in their beliefs, you want to ask really two questions. You want to ask a question that gets to the core of tell me more about that. You want them to flesh out that belief that they have, that viewpoint. That type of question would be the A questions on the new perspective questionnaire that comes with the new perspective cards. So the A questions touch on that point. That will help you understand people as well. And the second kind of question you want to ask is something along the lines of how did you come to that belief? Basically asking, why do you believe that? And that's the B questions on the perspective questionnaire. They get to the heart of that. And then the C questions here are just another question, if you happen to have more time, where you can ask them something that's very thoughtful, that will be getting them to think. And that's what asking good questions does. Is it really gets people to think, and they begin to realize, like, oh, I haven't really thought much about this, or maybe I should, because these are big questions of life. And the second thing you want to do is listen to people well. A big part of listening is not talking, not interjecting your thoughts, especially if people have some weird views. Sometimes you'll just have people choose a card and and elaborate on something, and you think it's just weird. Don't give that. Don't let people think that you're thinking that. Just be content to listen to people and be respectful of people. And usually by the time you get to the third or fourth category, in my experience and hearing stories of other people who are using perspective, by the time you get to the third or fourth categories, people's barriers tend to really drop, because they're expecting a Christian to kind of to judge them or to condemn them. But they're like, you really do want to understand what I believe. You really do want to listen to me, and that's a really great thing that really opens up doors. The third thing is you want to learn. The two things you're really looking at learning from someone is you want to try to get a full, complete, and accurate picture of what it is that they believe, what is their worldview. And the second part of that is you want to understand what is it that really is motivating this person to believe things and to not believe things. And that will happen as you ask both those A and those B questions. And this leads us right into the fourth thing, which is to share. And we're going to get into that in the next video about how you can use perspective to share your faith.